Hello everybody, thanks for tuning in to my latest European Outlook video. We're going to be looking at the weather for the week ahead for the European continent in this video. But before I get on with that, I just want to talk about the advertising. There'll usually be a video ad overlaying my weather videos here at gavsweathervids.com. Please play those video ads because you'll be supporting gavsweathervids.com if you do that. The other thing I want to talk about is the website where I get these charts from. It's weathercentral.de, and you can find that on my links page. Just click on the links tab at the bottom of this page and that will take you through to the links page, and you'll be able to see the link for Weather Central. Click on that and you should be able to go through to Weather Central and see all of these charts for yourself. Right then, this is the situation for today, Monday the 30th of April. We have this area of high pressure to the north of Scotland, bridging back into Scandinavia. Low pressure to the very far north of Scandinavia. That probably becomes a little bit more important right at the end of the week, but we'll look at that later on in the video. But the high pressure is bridging through the north of Scotland in towards Scandinavia. Then we've got this area of low pressure down towards the southwest of the British Isles, stretching down in towards Spain and France there. And in fact, you remember from last week's European Outlook that really the west of Europe that was very unsettled and on the cool side. The warm air, the hot air, was for central and eastern parts of Europe. That was forecast, and that indeed has come off. Central and eastern parts of Europe have had a lot of high temperatures, and those high temperatures are still there really across these central, eastern and southeastern parts of Europe. But we've also got these little areas of low pressure within that, within those high temperatures, and they'll just be sparking off some thundery showers. So really the high pressures for these northern parts of Europe and stretching down into the east, and then in these central, western, southwestern parts of Europe we've got these little areas of low pressure, a major low pressure to the southwest of Britain and Ireland. Now if we have a look at the 850 temperatures, and these are the upper air temperatures, we can see where the warm and the cool air is. We've got the very cool air across the north of Scandinavia still, of course, and this whole western part of Europe is quite cool, so cool air stretching through Britain, although it's a bit warmer across the British Isles today, but generally it's quite cool really, the upper air through the United Kingdom, through Ireland, down in towards France, much of Spain, Portugal on the cool side, and that cool air really extending into these western parts of the Mediterranean. Going further east, we have much hotter air across the bulk of Germany still, that hotter air extending in towards Poland, up in towards the Ukraine, and then down towards Hungary, and then through into the Balkans, and then down in towards the southeast Europe, Turkey and Greece. Some very warm air there, high temperature, and it really is quite hot indeed. In fact, we have seen some record-breaking heat this weekend across parts of Germany and Poland, and I say that those high temperatures still remain. Having a look at the precipitation charts, and we can see that really the precipitation is on this western side of the continent, so it's going through much of the United Kingdom, Ireland, down in towards France, and then down into Spain, Portugal. We have got showers, thundery showers in these areas, some longer spells of rain as well. And then that unsettled weather extending towards the far south and west of Germany through the Low Countries, and then down in towards the north of Italy. In fact, the bulk of the central and northern Italy quite unsettled with some thunderstorms cracking off. If we have a look at the convection, this is the convective potential, and this is showing where we could have thunderstorms if the potential for convection is right. And you can see that we have got the potential for convection across this western side of the continent, so really through southern England, down in towards the bulk of France, the Low Countries, down in towards Spain, through the Balearic Islands, and then particularly through the south of Germany, around these alpine regions, and then off in towards Poland, we do have the risk of thunderstorms. And then the convective risk is also there through the Balkans and through parts of Italy as well. So it's really this central part of Europe that has got the risk of thunderstorms, no risk of convection further north. And then as we have a look at the temperatures, well, we can see that temperatures are a little bit higher across the British Isles than we've had through the last couple of days. We're up to 15 or 16 degrees, but it's still cold for Scotland. But really this western side of the continent is on the cool side, cool air through much of France, below average temperatures, and those below average temperatures extending down into Spain and Portugal as well. The heat, the hot air, is really on this central and east part of Europe. It's a bit cooler in Germany than we've had, but it's still pretty warm with temperatures up to the mid-20s. And then going third region towards Poland, well, very high temperatures there, up to 30 degrees, 86 Fahrenheit maybe, 32 in one or two places, that's 90 Fahrenheit. Heat extending further down into this southeastern part of Europe as well, so some very high temperatures around the Balkans, and then down in towards Turkey and Greece. Well, Hungary also very hot indeed for the end of April. Now, looking ahead into the middle of the week, we've got this area of high pressure building to the northwest of the British Isles, and we're starting to bring this trough down in towards Scandinavia. That's starting to bring colder air back into Scandinavia. Also got low pressure down towards Portugal there. That's bringing some heavy rain in towards Portugal, parts of Spain as well. And really, low pressure is pretty much in control across these central parts of Europe. Shallow area of low pressure there, not a deep area of low pressure, but it'll be enough to spark off thundery showers, but high pressure really down towards this southeastern part of Europe. But really with this, what we're seeing is that the high temperatures are gradually draining away. We can see this on the on the upper air temperatures. Well, we've still got cool air here across the bulk of west of Europe. Still got some high temperatures, some hot air here around Poland, and then stretching towards Black Sea and then down into the southeast of Europe. But really we're looking at this cool air beginning to come back in towards Scandinavia, and it'll start to sink southwards as we go through the rest of the week. Having a look at the precipitation, well, there's the rain coming in towards Portugal on that area of low pressure. It'll give Portugal a soaking, I think. But these western parts of Europe are actually a bit drier through the British Isles, down through the bulk of the west of France, and then down in Spain. Quite a bit of dry weather there, a few showers cracking off over the Pyrenees and the Brest Peninsula perhaps, but generally not too bad at all. But further east through these eastern parts of France have got quite a number of heavy showers and thunderstorms. And then through Germany, a very showery, stormy picture there. The showers extending down in towards these alpine regions as well, through parts of Austria and Switzerland. Some storms cracking off there, and some showers or storms around the Balkans as well. Further to the north and to the east, a lot of dry weather, although we're bringing some rain and perhaps even some snow down in towards northern and western parts of Scandinavia. If we have a look at the convective potential, well, good deal of convective potential here through Germany, Poland, down towards the Balkans, and very high convection there, convection rates there, so we could see some pretty spectacular thunderstorms cracking off through the central parts of Europe. A little bit of convective potential maybe across to France, but really these northern parts of Europe not seeing much convective potential at all, and we don't see much convection through the Mediterranean either. Having a look at the temperatures, well, it's still quite a cool scene on this west side of Europe, maybe staging a bit of a recovery of those temperatures down in the southwest of France up to mid-20s there, but really it's quite a cool scene. The west of Europe, the heat is really on this eastern side of Europe once again. Still very hot indeed, ready for Austria there, temperatures up to Poland rather, temperatures up to the high 20s, and that heat again extending down in towards the Balkans and this southeastern part of Europe. Now going right ahead in towards next weekend, and this is a long way off, so it's subject to change, but we could see low pressure taking over around the northwest of the British Isles again, so that could bring in some heavy rain in towards Ireland and the UK, and it's really quite a cool and unsettled scene for this northwestern part of Europe. And we're also seeing the heat draining away now in these eastern and southeastern parts as well. If we have a look at the upper air temperatures, we can see that the very high 850 temperatures have slowly moderated across these central parts of the continent. And notice this cold air coming in across Ireland, Scotland, and much of Scandinavia here. This is bringing some very cold air back in towards the far north and northwest of Europe. And I say many of these central parts of Europe have turned a little bit cooler as well. Having a look at the precipitation for the weekend, and we can see that we have got a lot of precipitation here in the northwest, a lot of rain for the British Isles, much of Ireland, and that rain extends down in toward the bulk of France, Portugal, and northern Spain as well. So again, it's really this western and northwestern part of the continent that's very unsettled, and anything that's falling over Scandinavia could well be wintry actually, and particularly over the high ground, but maybe on some lower ground as well, and that wintry weather could extend in towards parts of Scotland as well. So it's really this western and northwestern part of Europe that's very unsettled. The drier weather is up here around the northeast, but once we get through to this southeastern part, I think here we'll be having thunderstorms cracking off through much of the Black Sea, down in towards the Balkans, in towards parts of Greece, and yes, back in towards Hungary and the north of Italy. Round the Alps, we'll have some thunderstorms cracking off. We can see this on the convective potential chart. Well, there's a lot of convective potential here across these central parts of Europe. Not much going on in the north, that's because it's turning colder, but through southern England, down in towards the bulk of France, in towards the north of Spain, on in towards Germany, around these alpine areas, and then further down into the southeast of Europe, we do have convective potential going on, so there could be some thunderstorms in these central parts. Not much through the Mediterranean and not much in the north. And then finally, having a look at the temperatures, well, very cold air coming in towards Scotland and Ireland, temperatures well down, well below average, and that cooler area is extending down in towards the bulk of the British Isles, bulk of England, I should say, and then down in towards France and in towards Spain. But the difference here is that further east, the temperatures have come down as well, so we've lost the high temperatures through Poland and down in towards the Balkans, Greece and Turkey, and through parts of Romania. Those areas have turned a lot cooler. Still quite warm, really, not too bad those temperatures, but we're talking about high teens or low 20s rather than high 20s or low 30s. So yes, it has cooled off across the bulk of the continent by next weekend, and it's turning particularly cold up through the north of the British Isles and into Scandinavia, where it could actually be cold enough for wintry weather to come back. So we are going to see the temperatures cooling off, I think, across the continent this week, remaining pretty unsettled to the north and to the northwest, and many parts of the continent will be having showers or thunderstorms through the course of this week. Now, I'll be doing another European outlook this time next week, so come back next Monday for a look at the weather across the continent once again. But I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it useful. That's it for now.